Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. The results are in for the Southern Tier's 23rd Congressional District special election, as well as the results for the Republican primary. In the special election, Joe Sempolinski wins the seat vacated by former Representative Tom Reed. Sempolinski received 53.3% of the vote, besting his opponent Max Delapia, with Delapia receiving 46.7% of the vote. This is not it for Delapia in the 23rd Congressional District, however. He will be running against Nick Langworthy, as determined by yesterday's Republican primary election. Langworthy was vying for the nomination along with his opponent, Carl Palladino. Palladino received 47.9% of the vote, with the winner Langworthy receiving 52.1%. Today, President Biden announcing he is canceling $10,000 in student loan debt for Americans earning less than $125,000 a year. He is also extending the pause on loan repayment. Madeline Rivera has more details from Washington.
Here's what my administration is going to do to provide more breathing room for people so they have less burdened by student debt.
It's the answer that millions of borrowers have been waiting for. President Biden is announcing he's canceling up to $10,000 of federal student loan debt for those making less than $125,000 a year. Borrowers who receive Pell Grants would be eligible for up to $20,000 in student loan forgiveness. And the president is extending the temporary pause on loan repayment one more time through December.
Both of these targeted actions are for families who need it the most.
With midterm elections quickly approaching, some see the move as a way for Democrats to rally young voters who may not be as enthused with how the president has performed.
I think young people are the strongest, Democrat supporters. And you see this move by Biden is timed with the election.
The president is trying to use taxpayers as a personal campaign slush fund.
Still, President Biden is likely to get pushback from those who think the amount is not enough. Progressive lawmakers and the president of the NAACP have been calling on him to forgive at least $50,000 per borrower.
Will I keep fighting for more? Of course I will.
Plus, fiscal hawks say this will add fire to an already red-hot inflation problem and do nothing to reduce the national deficit.
Some estimates are as much as $300 billion more in debt incurred because of this. What are they thinking?
Now to the Southern Tier, as Big Fox's Maggie Hall gets reaction to the loan relief plan.
I was out and about today in the Southern Tier to ask folks how they feel about President Biden's new student loan relief program. Here's what they had to say.
I feel elated, obviously. I think it's a wonderful idea. I really do feel like this is kind of taking a step forward in the right direction, helping a lot of young people who kind of want to get out there and start on their careers and kind of take off and take those next steps. I think this will help us significantly. And
Beth Wilson Thornton declined to be on camera, but gave me the comment that I think that college is way too expensive and that needs to be looked at, but loan forgiveness is way too unfair to those of us who have worked hard to pay off for college by ourselves. Lydia Rascala, a soon-to-be college student, has a different opinion.
I would say I'm pro because it allows me to widen my college search and choices in general, because I don't necessarily have to worry about the financial constraints of choosing a college. It would give some relief in that area.
Jennifer Haynes sent me a message through Facebook Messenger stating, Maggie, if one gets a loan, they have to pay it back. Our country is in a recession, and I feel like this is only going to add to the problem. Nothing is free, and we will all pay in the end. For more information on President Biden's new student loan relief program, you can visit thewhitehouse.gov. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
A Monroe County man arrested for forcible touching at Watkins Glen International. According to the Schuyler County Sheriff's Office, Corey Alden of Fairport, New York, allegedly entered a camp tent and inappropriately touched an underage girl. Alden will appear in Dickstown Court in the coming weeks. The village of Waverly has had a lot on its plate recently. Our Josh Feldberg was in Waverly today to find out what's been going on.
A custodian for Waverly Central Schools has been arrested for criminal possession of a firearm on school grounds. According to the press release, William McAuliffe is accused of knowingly storing a rifle in a school vehicle while parked on school property. McAuliffe was taken to Tioga County Jail and is awaiting further legal action. Big Fox reached out to the Waverly Police for a comment on the incident, but they deferred to the information in the press release. Big Fox also spoke with one parent who declined to be on camera, but stated they are just happy that this person is in jail and far away from their kids. Also happening in Waverly, this weekend will be the first Waverly Glen Music Festival. The festival will be held in Waverly Glen Park, Saturday, August 27th from noon to 5.
Patrick came up with the great idea of holding a festival there. Not only will people be able to enjoy the music, but they'll also be able to take advantage of the park. There's walking trails, the beautiful waterfalls. So it's kind of an awareness of the park and also providing a nice musical event for the community.
I'm at the Waverly Amphitheater. The amphitheater here at Waverly Glen is expected to hold many more community events in the years to come.
I believe we've created a space at the Glen. We're calling it the amphitheater at the Waverly Glen. So it's a whole area in the park, including the stage, that just lends itself to these kinds of events. And so it would be my hope that the community would be able to embrace this and that we'd be able to have it every year and that it would be something that would be a positive event for the community and actually grow.
The festival is free to attend and will feature a variety of musical acts.
Hoping, and looking at the weather report, it looks like a good weather day. I think if you do come, I think you'll have a good time, and I think it'll be a good family event.
Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Waverly.
A surplus vehicle and highway equipment auction will take place in Hornell. The auction is part of the New York State Office of General Services. Items available at the auction include more than 30 vehicles and various types of motor equipment. The full list of items available for auction can be found on the office's website. That auction begins August 30th at 9:30 at the Department of Transportation in Hornell. The Southeast Steuben County Library needs your help. The library will be undergoing renovations and is asking people to check out as many books as they'd like to help with the process. In a post on Facebook, the library said, "Rather than pack and move books, we would love it if you had the books at home." During the renovations, the children's department will be relocated to the upstairs section of the building. Stars Above, an open-air, family-friendly circus, is coming to Ithaca. September 2nd through the 4th, you and your family can go see this cast of circus performers. The show will be put on at Circus Culture, that's at 116 Green Street in Ithaca. For tickets, visit eventbrite.com or allevents.in. A former New York City mayor will become a teaching fellow at Harvard Schools of Government and Public Health. The university announced that Bill de Blasio will join its staff. Harvard says the former mayor, who served from 2014 until 2021, will take part in a variety of discussions and programming. Kim Janey, the former acting mayor of Boston, will also serve as a fellow at the Public Health School. Still ahead, we have your complete forecast. Plus,
here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, we have been bringing in some better rainfall accumulation as we stepped into these last few weeks of August. Now, when we look at even some of that reflectivity, you can see that contour running all the way from Pennsylvania all the way through northern portions of New York, hugging the Great Lakes. There's some good significant rainfall accumulation there that we've seen this month. So good to see some decent numbers here because we've lacked it this summer. And Elmira and Corning is just about this area, so we're included in some of those high reflectivities, which there were some flooding concerns. Even Elmira was able to climb to almost 2 inches of rainfall on Monday, and then we started to bring in lighter rainfalls. We did trend to see some of that clearing into our Tuesday evening forecast and accumulated just under 0.2 of an inch, but still our 5-day total almost 2.5 inches of rainfall. So like to see those decent numbers, but also like to see some of that blue sky. We did return to some quieter conditions for our Wednesday, and we'll see that extend into our Thursday forecast. So noting that tonight we will see those calm and clear skies. We'll drop temperatures down to about 58, on par for average, but with the light, calm, and clear skies. It is going to allow for some of that patchy fog, as we saw this morning, to redevelop. So do keep yourself wary of some reduced visibility at times. But we should turn back to those bright conditions. We should see a fairly pleasant Friday setup. It might be slightly warmer just by a degree or two, so we stay under some of those brighter sunshine conditions and warm up that surface a bit. However, we are going to see another low pressure system swing its way through the Great Lakes, and it is going to bring some scattered thunder throughout the day on Friday. Not expecting heavy widespread rainfall like we were seeing earlier this week, but it is going to give us at least some chances for some showers and thunderstorms, but expecting light accumulation. It will shake up the weather pattern with some cooler conditions on Saturday, but we should keep those bright conditions all weekend and see some gradual warming as we head into the last few days of August, which does run us through the middle of next week. But trending into what's expected for our Thursday, as mentioned, a little bit of that morning fog in place, but we should be able to break into those clear skies pretty quickly into the morning and then allow for temperatures to return back up into those mid 80s. So again, similar to what we were experiencing today, maybe a degree or two warmer, just around 85 into Elmira, 85 into Corning, and then we'll see that you have that thunderstorm icon. It is pretty small. There might be a stray shower or two to mention, but the risk is on a very minimal note. We're really going to have almost that perfect environment to see those pop up. So we'll mention it, but your better chance is going to come as we step into that Friday forecast. So with some of that cloudier conditions moving in, temperatures may be pulled back into those 70s in a few locations. We'll top off around 86 into Elmira and Corning. Still some morning sunshine there in the mix, but as mentioned, when it comes to rainfall, we don't see really impressive numbers, just a few hundredths of an inch here from Elmira and Corning and up through the Finger Lakes. So light rainfall accumulation, but should break back into that sunshine over the weekend. 81 on Saturday, 88 on Sunday. A little warmer there to pull us into next week, as we'll have another chance for some showers and thunderstorms Monday and Tuesday before we could be tracking a cooling trend into the new month.
Vacation rentals might be your home away from home, but across the country, communities in and around tourist destinations say short-term rentals are contributing to the affordable housing crisis. Marianne Rafferty has a look at why these properties are forcing many full-time residents into small mobile units.
It's a scenario you're probably familiar with. You're going on vacation but don't want to stay in a hotel, so you book a short-term rental. But now those are at the center of growing controversy, with short-term rentals being blamed for worsening the nation's ongoing affordable housing crisis.
1 in every 3 housing units is a short-term rental.
The problem is especially on full display in vacation destinations like the Colorado ski town of Steamboat Springs, where local officials say people from out of state are buying many of the available homes and renting them out on the off-season, taking away potential homes from full-time residents and sending real estate prices through the roof.
As a 44-year-old that works a full-time job, I'm not able to even afford to live.
But a study by vacation rental company Airbnb found short-term rentals are critical to supporting more than 13,000 jobs across several Rocky Mountain counties, and attributes the lack of affordable housing to job growth outpacing home construction.
They're an important part of our resort tourism-based economy. We just cannot sustain the rate at which properties are turning into short-term rentals and still have a community.
But relief may be on the way. Members of the Steamboat Springs City Council recently banned new short-term rentals in most parts of the city. They're also proposing a 9% bookings tax on existing rentals to help fund more affordable housing options. And the idea could inspire other vacation towns to do the same.
Kentucky University's basketball program is giving back in a big way. They helped coordinate the donation of thousands of shoes to flood victims this week. Bodie Brooks has the story.
Buckhorn Lake State Park is one of many giving shelter to flood victims. The folks staying here were treated to more than just a special guest. Thousands of new shoes donated by Coach John Calipari's foundation.
It's a little thing to most of us, but it means so much to these families.
Something we take for granted, the shoes on our feet. The Calipari Foundation partnered with Samaritan's Feet, donated 5,000 shoes for flood victims, now pushing almost a month without a home.
We've been in a shelter for 24, 25 days today. We lost everything in our home.
It was more than just a meet and greet, as Coach Cal, his staff, and the Lieutenant Governor borrowed a page from Scripture, washing children's feet.
It gives us a chance to let people know we care, we know, and
we see and however we can help and bring some hope to this area.
It helps remind them that they're not forgotten, that they're dignified, to clean their feet of all the pain and remind them that they can move forward. But also is to encourage hygiene and clean health. But more importantly, it's a change of disposition, that we become servants.
Karen Darty and her family say they're taking each day at a time and leaning on their faith.
Kind of hold out and hopefully God will make a way for us. And we're thankful for shoes and things because school's starting back.
School is starting back soon, so we really appreciate it. We needed it.
I recognize how important it is to bring a moment of joy to kids whose circumstances may be out of their control. And that's what you saw today.
Still ahead, some new technology on fire engines aims to protect firefighters from death and injury from fire truck crashes. That story and more coming up. Every year, hundreds of firefighters are hurt on the job, not just from fighting fires, but also from being involved in crashes with fire engines. Now, some new technology is hoping to alleviate the problem. Stephanie Bennett has more on how it works.
A lot more people are distracted than they used to be. The sirens and the lights that used to be very effective, they're finding that it's not very effective anymore.
This small black box near the front of the Queen Creek Fire Department's newest truck may solve the problem when drivers do not move out of the way for fire trucks and ambulances during an emergency.
This has been a surprising game changer, and we knew this technology was out, but we didn't know that they were being so rapidly installed in new fire trucks. And for most of us, it was a surprise that our new fire truck came with this device. Gilbert recently took delivery of 3 or 4 engines as well.
Now, within seconds, when these fire crews head out for an emergency, this black box will send an alert to drivers in the area through navigation devices like Waze, Apple Maps, and some built-in car systems in 2018 or newer cars.
The system works anytime the emergency lights are on. So whether we are parked on the side of the road on a car accident or we are driving with lights and sirens to an emergency, this system will be activated.
On average, more than 15,000 fire vehicles are involved in collisions nationwide every year. These collisions are the second leading cause of on-duty deaths for firefighters.
We want to remind people that when you see sirens and lights, move to the right safely. Check your surroundings, move over to the lane and stop. We have the move over motorist law, and a lot of times it's not happening. We find ourselves pretty frustrated when we were responding to emergencies in seconds count.
Now, eventually, they hope that this technology is widespread across the state. For now, if you do not get these alerts, as always, whenever you see those flashing lights, pull over and give them plenty of space.
Wendy's E. coli outbreak is worse than originally reported. Bed Bath & Beyond gets a lifeline, and millennials are ditching Netflix. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
State health agencies revealing an E. coli outbreak from Wendy's lettuce is much worse than originally reported by the CDC. On Friday, the federal agency said 37 people had been impacted in 4 states, with some even being hospitalized. But the number could surpass 100 as Michigan investigates 98 E. coli cases this month. 43 have been linked to the fast food chain. Results are still pending for the other cases. Wendy's says it pulled the lettuce from certain locations in the Midwest. Intel and Brookfield Asset Management announcing a $30 billion deal to finance the chip maker's factory expansion ambitions. Under the deal, Intel would fund 51% of the cost to build a new chip factory in Chandler, Arizona, and have a controlling stake in financing. Brookfield would own the remainder of the equity, and both would split the revenue. Bed Bath & Beyond has lined up financing to keep itself in business. The Wall Street Journal says the retailer was seeking about $375 million to help with operations and pay down debt. And millennials, fed up with inflation, are reportedly canceling their Netflix subscriptions and watching reruns for free over the airwaves using digital antennas. Last year alone, more than 8 million antennas were sold. It is estimated 50 million households will be using the equipment to enjoy free content by 2025. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
Stay with us. We'll have more right after this. We want to leave you with a smile. Build-A-Bear is officially ready for fall with its new Pumpkin Spice Bear. The DIY stuffed animal company revealed the new 16-inch teddy bear on Tuesday, showing off pumpkin orange-colored fur and sparkly gold paws and ears. It can be customized with autumn-styled outfits and accessories like a scarf, dress, miniskirt, winter boots, or even a plush pumpkin spice latte wristband. Fans can also add a pumpkin spice scent and personal sound. The bear is available at Build-A-Bear.com. I'm Scott Beadle. Thank you for watching.